Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our online guide for tonight. We are off to Switzerland tonight, and we thought we'd do something different than the traditional chocolate fondue that everyone always makes when we go to Switzerland. And yes, we've all been very guilty of, I have to say, fondue is pretty good. So to open tonight, I just want to acknowledge the traditional owners on the land in which we meet today. And for me down here in Albany, it is the Noongar Menang people, and I pay respects to elders past, present and emerging. And I'm going to, I think you all know who I am by now, so I'm going to hand over to Robin to introduce herself.
Hi everyone, I'm Robin from Bunbury, the Earth and Ocean Girl Guides. My guiding name's Dolphin. So welcome everyone, good to see you again.
And tonight we're also going to be hearing from Alice, and she's going to share with us a little bit later her experiences of being in Switzerland at Our Chalet. So thank you, Alice, for offering to share with us tonight. And to open tonight, we have a Swiss saying, and I cannot pronounce it in Swiss German, so my apologies for that, but it is, you cannot have both the 10 cents and the rolls. So the meaning behind that is when you want to make it clear to someone they have to choose either one thing or the other, you say you cannot have both the 10 cents and the rolls. So something a little bit different. Now tonight, as I said, we're going to be doing something that's very famous for Swiss German, which is apple strudel. However, we're going to do a bit of a cheats version because we don't have 5 hours to make pastry from scratch, and I didn't want to have to spend, waiting patiently for the oven to finish in 45 minutes. So we're doing a bit of a cheats one tonight, and we also are having a little bit of a chocolate add-in because we can't have Switzerland without having chocolate, and we're also going to make a real hot chocolate later. But I did have a little play earlier, and I will show you what you guys are making tonight. Here's my sample. So this is the apple strudel. It's got a little bit of sugary stuff on top. You can't see the chocolate, but trust me, there is chocolate chips inside. And Robin's going to make sure I remember to put them in because I forgot earlier. That's why all the sugary stuff's on the side, because I kind of unrolled it and put the chocolate chips in. So that is what we're going to make tonight. So just before we get started, how about you all share in the chat box where you're from and your name, so we know who's on the call today. So welcome back to Jess from the Three Rivers. It is great to have you with us again. I see we've also got Olivia from Les Murdy. We've got Alice, of course, joining us. And we've also got Jan and Lynn, I see, also on the call as well. So welcome. I hope you guys have got everything ready and are keen to have a go at making our apple strudel, our chocolate chip apple strudel. So I'll just swap cameras so we can see what I'm doing. Make sure you preheat your oven to 200 degrees. So just before we get started, if you want to grab your oven and preheat it, you want to heat it up to about 200 degrees, and that can get warm while we get started on the rest of it. Now, just working with phyllo pastry, if you're going to be fiddling with it for a while, I recommend having a damp tea towel handy, or it does tend to fall apart on you. So make sure you have a damp tea towel, and that just helps the phyllo pastry from becoming very paper thin and falling apart. Okay, so we are now going to move to our cooking. So let me just move the other one out the way. So I have got a nice breadboard in front of me because that will make life a lot easier for you. And you're going to need your phyllo pastry. And you want, I think I said 12 sheets, but you need at least 8 sheets. So we're just going to roll this out, and it is really fine and thin. So if you look, I can grab one sheet. That is really thin pastry. So we're going to want 8 sheets. So given it'll dry up quick, we just want to quickly count off 8 sheets. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and an 8. I'm just going to put that aside while we fold the rest of it back up and put it away. It also makes a really nice spinach and feta pie phyllo pastry. That is my go-to for that. Okay, so now with your sheets, we want to start off with 2. So starting with 2 phyllo pastry sheets. Move the rest out of the way. Now, I said melted butter or spray oil. I like using spray oil because I don't have to then clean my pastry brush afterwards, but it just depends on you. So I've got my spray oil here, and I'm just going to give it a light spray. The beauty of spray oil is as well, it's a little bit healthier because you're not drowning it in butter, and it still goes nice and crisp and buttery afterwards. Then we want another 2 sheets on top. So I've got my next 2 sheets here, and I'm going to lay them on top. And then nice spray with oil again. And the reason we're making this a little bit fatter and thicker is so the filling doesn't fall straight out. So that's 4 sheets. Here's the next 2. Make 6. Another spray oil again. And then the last 2 sheets are going to make it the 8. So if you have got a damp tea towel handy, put the damp tea towel on that. Otherwise, we'll just work nice and quickly so it doesn't fall apart. Then you're going to need your bowl and your pie filling. Can you see that on the screen? Mine's got a little bit of liquid in it. You don't want it too liquidy or it's going to make your pastry soggy. So if you need to, you can drain out the apple. Now, if I'm going too fast, please do speak up. So you guys have probably got a smaller tin than me. I bought a big one because I wanted to experiment and make sure that we were going to have a really good, yummy, delicious strudel. Okay, so we've now got our apple. It's very simple. Now we just add the almond meal and the brown sugar. Now, brown sugar is very much to taste, but I wouldn't add too much. You're going to have sugar and chocolate in it as well. So, just grab a Ceramix jug out here and grab out my 1/4 cup of almond meal. Sprinkle that in. Freshly ground, it's all good. And then the brown sugar. So as I said, it's very much something that's up to you. I added 2 tablespoons earlier, and that was heaps for me. I can see Jan's cooking along behind it with us at home. Good to see. So I'm being very generous.
Olivia has just asked, how much do you need to put in?
Of the brown sugar, I've just added probably about 2 tablespoons. Depends on how sweet you like it, Olivia. If you like it really sweet, add a bit more, but just remember you've also got chocolate chips going on this. So 2 tablespoons is probably more than enough. Otherwise it might end up too sweet. Then we just need to give it a bit of a stir.
And how much almond meal did you add in there? Maybe that was...
1/4 cup. That was on the recipe I sent home.
Yep.
We give that a bit of a stir. It looks terrible, I know. But if we were making this with real apples, it would hold together, well, not real apples, fresh apples, it would hold together a lot better. And you'd also need to cook it a lot longer. But as we're only on for an hour, we've got to try and keep it short and sweet. And that's most of it done. So now we grab back our phyllo pastry we've prepped. And it's time to spread the apple out on. So we literally just plonk it on and spread it out. I'm just going to grab I find a nice scraper helps get out the last of the good stuff. If this was, of course, chocolate cake mix, I wouldn't be so, I wouldn't clean it out as well because I want to lick the bowl afterwards because, you know, everyone wants to lick the bowl. But as this is not chocolate, well, it's not yet chocolate. So just spread it out. It doesn't have to be, you know, perfect because we're going to roll it up. Ta-da! Now, what do I forget, Robin? What are we missing?
That would be the chocolate chips.
I have got a mix here of milk and dark. Now, I think the recipe said 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. You can be as much or as little as you like. Again, it depends on how sweet you like it. Now, mums out there probably don't want you using up an entire packet of chocolate chips. I know my mother always used to complain if I used too many chocolate chips. So we're just going to sprinkle them on. See, I'm not drowning it, but that is 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. Right. Is everyone keeping up so far? Am I going too quick? I think I've gone a bit too far ahead, so we'll just wait for everyone to catch up. The next step's going to be actually folding our strudel and getting it ready. So I am going to get myself a tray out. So I got myself a baking tray here. I've got ones with sides on because I don't want to make a mess in my oven if I can help it. And I always put paper towel on the bottom of my trays because it saves on cleaning. And I'm always about saving on cleaning. Okay, so Jan, how are we going? So I can see you cooking in the kitchen. Are you ready to roll? Right. So we're going to be starting, this is from my right, but you can start from your left depending what sided you are. And we're literally just going to fold it over. So nothing complicated in that. Might drag it a little bit towards me. So remember, it's going to be getting wet and soggy from the stuff on top. So we don't want to have to do it too often. There's another fold, and then I'm just going to come to the other side and fold it over. But see how this has got a loose pastry bit on it? I'm just going to tuck that underneath because that's going to be on the bottom when I put it on my tray. And that is going to help my thing stay together. Now, because I've used a breadboard, I can literally flip it off the breadboard onto, oops, that didn't work very well, onto my tray. Ta-da! There is the apple strudel almost done. But the piece de resistance, the most important bit, is now to give it a light spray with oil or your butter if you're using melted butter. That is because that'll help make it go brown and make it look yummy. And then they recommend a sprinkle of sugar. Now, I don't normally put brown sugar on something like this. I would use white sugar, or in my case, I've got a little bit of raw sugar here. So I like the crunch raw sugar gives. And I'm literally just going to sprinkle some raw sugar on top. Not too much because we don't want to make it too sweet. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. And we're done. How hard was that? Nice and easy. Lynn says, best baking paper, best invention ever, and I completely agree with you. I have tried some of the green alternatives and I just find they're not as good yet, but I'll keep persevering with them. So I am now going to put that in the oven at 200 degrees, and I'm going to have to keep an eye on it because all of us are going to have a different level of wetness in our apple and everything, and how dry your pastry is and how much oil and stuff you got in. So we're just going to keep an eye on that every 10 or 15 minutes because we don't want to burn it. I probably almost overdid mine because it was getting a little bit toasty. So we're just going to put that in the oven. Because we want to grab it out when it's nice and golden like this. So just remember to keep an eye on it. Jan's putting hers in the oven almost, I can see. So while that's cooking, shall we have a break and Alice will show us some photos, and then we'll make our hot chocolates, because that way we've got some, that way we might be ready when our thing finishes and we can swap over to our strudel with our hot chocolate. So Alice, there, hello Alice.
Hello.
Now, do you know how to share screen so you can show your photos?
Yep.
So tell us about your journey.
So I'm going to start this in Switzerland, mainly because we're focusing on our chalet tonight. So this is the first photo when we arrived in our chalet after our flight from Zurich, to Zurich, sorry. This was about lunchtime, and this is where we stayed the night, didn't do any activities. There we go. We had some fun in the snow on the first night because none of us had really seen it before. This is me in the middle and two of my friends, Tyler and Hannah, on the other side. And this is a photo of our chalet that night. The next day we did the pinning ceremony, so we got our pins. And this is all the flags of the other people that were staying there at the time as us.
And I recognise a couple of leaders there with you. I can see Aileen and I can see, is that Miranda?
It's Miranda.
And Aileen at the other end, yep.
And Janet.
Lovely. Oh yeah, I can see Janet hiding at the back.
The other leaders we had were Bree and Ashley. We then had a hike to the second highest waterfall in Switzerland. And then we went up the mountain, like up the mountain that it was on. And we did, so that we just had a look around. That night we did Swiss night. And this is the Alpenhorn player from Woden. He came and visited us. The next day we did skiing lessons. This is us skiing.
How did you go at skiing, Alice?
I found it was pretty okay. Yeah, it wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't too easy, but it wasn't super, super hard for me. And that night we had a campfire. And the next day we did sledding. And for dinner we had, I've had a mind blank.
You have roti or spatzle or?
No, I cannot remember.
Rusty, sorry, not roti, rusty.
It'll come to me. So we had that for dinner. And then the next day we did a hike to the woodcarver's shop and we found some cows on the way.
And did you get your guide trefoil badge with your name engraved into the wood when you're at the woodcarver's house?
I think I did. It would be somewhere not on there.
It might be handy, but yours might be closer.
This is, so inside the woodcarver's shop, this is all the badges of Girl Guides and Scouts he has on the roof. Really good collection. And that night we did some nice photos. This is all of us together with our chalet. Then the next day we did downhill sledding again. And then the next day, so this was the 26th of January, so this was Australia Day. We had our I Love Perth shirts on. And we also went to do cross-country skiing. And that day it also snowed during the day while we were up there. It was really nice. And I think that's a picture of us in the ski lifts up hill. And we had snow cones from the snow, which was freshly fallen, not old snow. And yeah, I think there might be more. On our way back from some of the hikes, when we came through the village, we found some goats on the side of the road.
They're so cute.
I think there was about 3 of them around. This is a photo where we did lighting fires and making damper, or as they call it, dough on a stick. And we used the knives, as you can see I'm really creepily holding, to sharpen the sticks. And this is us roasting the dough. And yeah, that was our trip to Switzerland.
Wow, because I went there in spring, so I didn't get to see any snow, and I stayed in Baby Chalet. So did you see Baby Chalet up the hill from where you were staying in the main house?
See it. I don't think we went up there, memory.
So the lady who built our chalet decided she needed a little place of her own, and that's where Baby Chalet come along from. So it's a little tiny 2-story, 2-roomed kind of building. Upstairs you've got like a bed and a bath. I've no idea how they got the bath in there. And then downstairs there's literally a bedroom and a kitchen. It's very cute. So would you recommend other people going to our chalet?
I would definitely recommend other people going to Our Chalet.
What are the best things you got? What are the things that you got out of that trip?
While I was there, we learned a lot with the program manager about like leadership development, and I felt that was really good. Also snow, because I'd never seen snow before, and seeing that was really good. And yeah, it's a really good experience. So definitely go there.
Did you do a service project while you were at our chalet?
No, I don't believe we did.
Fair enough. Well, thank you, Alice. Thanks for sharing your journey with us. And as Alice has said, you really should go to a World Centre. It is definitely amazing. And if you go to Europe, Pax Lodge is really, really close. So next week we're going to go to Pax Lodge. So we will be sharing Pax Lodge with you guys next week. And if you're keen, we can do some more cooking because that seems to be popular, that one. So go and check on your apple strudel. So as I said, depending on how dry your pastry is and how wet your filling is, you need to just go and check on it. So I'm just going to check on mine. Mine's not quite there yet, but it's coming. I get 2 strudels each night. It'd be fabulous. Okay, so while our strudels cook, we're going to have a look at the Our Chalet World Song. So I'm going to see if this is going to work for me today. We'll probably if I bring up the right thing. Okay. So again, this is by the same group that we did last time. It is rather high, so my apologies. But this is Our Chalet, and it's got the video song, and it's got the words on video for you. So sing along. And turn your mics off if you don't want to be on the screen. But here we have the Our Chalet song.
Shall shelter us without a care, and each cascade and guide shall find a welcome there. High up on the mountain, we'll go to our chalet. High up on the mountain, we'll go to our chalet. Our simple life is free, our hearts are light, our songs are gay. We ever shall remember the voice of our chalet. High up on the mountain, we founded our chalet. High up on the mountain, we founded our chalet. And this dedication shall never fail nor be undone. Each race, each creed, each nation, beneath its roof are one.
So there you go. That is the Our Chalet song. And as you can tell, a lot of them are quite high. And you'll find that with the International Guide song as well. So when I sing this with my unit, I usually put it down an octave or find a different key. Oh, it's still playing. Let me just pause that in the background. Okay, so how are our apple strudels looking? Are they starting to get a little bit of colour in them? Nothing from Jan. How about Lynn or Olivia? Have you got any colour in your strudel? Mine's just starting to colour, but my pastry might have been a little bit drier than what yours is, so just keep an eye on that. So the next thing that we're going to do, and I'm about to get attacked by a kitten, is we're going to look at making our hot chocolate. So for this, you're going to need a small saucepan, and you're going to need a microwave-proof bowl, because usually when you make a hot chocolate using real chocolate, you grate the chocolate up really fine, and then you're stirring it in hot milk. And the hard bit is if the milk is, you overcook the milk, it scalds, it doesn't taste very nice. And it can take a lot of stirring to get the chocolate to take it up. So what we're going to do tonight instead is we're going to heat our milk up gently on the stove top until it's about your drinking temperature, because we don't need it to hot. We don't need it, sorry, to boil, because we're going to be pouring melted chocolate into it. So grab yourself a microwave safe bowl. So it could be the bowl you use for your cereal if it's microwave safe, or if you've got a glass bowl or a glass jug. That's what you want to put your chocolate into. So I've got my little glass bowl ready. And I, as I said, am going to use my chocolate. This is my chocolate, but you can use any chocolate. Just because I've decided to use Lindt, that's just because what I have in the cupboard. Now, it depends on how chocolatey you like your hot chocolate as to how much chocolate you might want to add, and how sweet you like your hot chocolate. Oh, I can see Jan's got milk Lindt. Well, I've got white Lindt. So add as little or as much chocolate as you like. So if you like your hot chocolate made with real chocolate and you know that you like a lot of chocolate in it, add a lot of chocolate. But I've got my little bit here. Before we put that in the microwave though, we need to get our milk gently heating. So if you've got a small burner on your stove, you can do it in the microwave, again, using a microwave safe bowl. We're just going to heat it gently because we don't want to burn the milk. And we don't want to burn ourselves either. So remembering that we are working with something hot here, so be cautious. So grab our small saucepan out, and our milk. And you can add as little or as much milk as you like. So I can see Olivia used gluten-free puff pastry for her one. So yours might take a little bit longer, Olivia. We'll see how you go. So I'm just going to add my milk. Now it depends if you're making a hot drink just for yourself or the rest of the family. And I'm just going to go place that on the stove and just have that gently heating. So that's my milk on, and once that's almost warm, I'm going to melt my chocolate in the microwave. So I'm just going to go and check again on my strudel while my milk gently heats. Mine's probably still got another 10 minutes to go. They're just browning on the edges, so we've got a little while to go. So when you go to Our Chalet, it is based just out of Adelboden, and it is famous for their ice cream. I will have to try and find you the photo of the ice cream I had there because it was absolutely amazing. And when you go to the Woodturners cottage, it is a decent walk. I went there in summer, and as I said, it was a very decent walk. One of the traditions is to get a trefoil name badge with your name written on it. and I'll see if I can find mine in a moment. But I'll just see if I can show you the picture of Baby Chalet, which is where I stayed, and also some pictures of what our chalet looks like without snow, because I went there at a very different time of the year. I'd love to go back with snow though. I think it would be absolutely amazing. And I can't ski, so I would probably be useless at going over in winter, but I'm sure it'll be fun. Okay, so let's find, because I went over to our chalet in 2010. I went over with one of the guide leaders from Brookton Girl Guides, along with actually 2 leaders from Brookton Girl Guides, and we went over for the 10th anniversary, sorry, the 100th anniversary of Girl Guides around the world. So for us, it was an absolutely amazing trip. But to give you an idea of how our chalet looks like in the spring, this is probably the best photo I've got. It is a different view to what Alice showed us. So this is the front of the, nope, that's not it. It is very different to what Alice showed you, because it said there's no snow, and it's very green. There was the world's biggest slugs you've ever seen in your life. There was alpine strawberries growing along the side of the path. It was really, really cool. But I just want to find you those pictures, and I can show you the picture of Baby Chalet. Baby Chalet is so cute. And the ice cream was definitely the best. Well, here's the most important thing. Okay, ladies, this is the ice cream that we had in our chalet, and it was amazing. This was based in Adelboden, so it's down the other side of the mountain, but how amazing does that ice cream look? It was covered with cream, it had fresh apricots on it, it had fresh handmade chocolate, and this amazing handmade ice cream. What do you reckon, Dolphin? Could you have some of that?
I reckon I could have 2 or 3 of those. I'd have one every day.
It was amazing, I have to say. It was really, really good. So when you go over, if you go over in the warmer months, that is definitely something you need to have a look at, is the ice cream. While I was there, I also bought myself a Swiss pocket knife, because, you know, I was in Switzerland. I felt like I needed to have a Swiss pocket knife. So I'm just trying to find you a front view of the main chalet at our chalet, but it doesn't look like I ended up with a picture of it all after all that. I've got lots of pictures of Switzerland in general, but none of the front of our chalet. I can't believe that. Ella might have got one for us. What's that one? And I can show you what the campfire area looks like, because Alice showed on her pictures what the campfire area looked like in the winter, but this is what it looks like in the spring. So if you can imagine her photos, how we had all the snow and stuff, this is what it looks like in the spring. So Alice, how different does that look from when you were there? It is very, very different. And we didn't get to have a campfire there, unfortunately. We got there on the wrong night for campfire. So yeah, so it's an amazing place. I think to go back in the opposite season from when, you know, we were there would be amazing, Alice. So you'll have to go over in the spring or the summer, and I'll have to go over in the thing. So this is the view from Baby Chalet back towards where we're staying, and there's another view of the campfire a bit closer up. So it is definitely, definitely an amazing experience. So how is your milk going along? Don't forget to give it a stir occasionally if you don't want it to get. Looks like Jan's in hers already. Or is that a cup of tea?
And hers has lots of marshmallows. You missed that, Tammy.
I've only got a couple of, oh yes, she's got lots of marshmallows. So my milk's still gently heating. You can add a little bit of sugar if you like. I wouldn't recommend it though if you're planning to have milk chocolate or white chocolate, because it's going to be very, very sweet. I've got a very cuddly kitty at the moment who's insisting on sitting on my lap. So I'll just go and give my milk a stir.
Oh, that looks yummy, Janice. That looks very nice. I actually, this is my second week back at work since the mandate has been lifted, and I forgot to go to the shop on my way home to buy the pastry. So unfortunately, I will have to do mine on the weekend.
I've got 2. Do you want me to like send you one?
Yes, please. I was just thinking if it wasn't so far away, I would come and grab one.
Sure. Particularly as I'm home by myself. Oh, Jan, that looks awesome.
Wasn't it?
Mine's going to be breakfast probably for tomorrow. Because the dog will probably love to eat it, but I won't let it because it's got chocolate in it. So any questions from the Peanut Gallery about our chalet that if I can't answer, or Alice might be able to answer instead? Oh, Alice has got a picture of the front that she was going to quickly share with us. I've got one at my guide hall, but not with me at home. There's the front, and you can see the world symbol in it. The world trefoil in the middle. And it's snowing. I so have to go back when it snows. And interestingly, one of the newer buildings at Our Chalet actually has built into the floor a bomb shelter. Because within the Swiss building codes, it was required when they built the building, and it was only built in the 90s from memory, it was still in the building code that you had to have a bomb shelter, which is a carryover from World War II. Now they use it for storage, but it's amazing to think that that was something they had to build into the building codes. And when I went to Our Chalet, the person who was the manager of Our Chalet was actually the person who was managing Sangam when I was there in 2008. So it was really great to see Sally Thornton there because, you know, I'd met her at Sangam and she's Australian, and then to see her again at Our Chalet was a bit like coming home. So how's everyone else's strudels coming along? So Lynn's asked Alice if you can share when you went to Our Chalet about the hoodie you were wearing.
Oh, yep. So I went in January, so late in January. So it was summer here and winter there. I was very lucky to miss out on our hot summer. And this is the hoodie that we got. Yeah, and on the back.
Very
cool logo for the trip. And I don't have our beanie on around. Yes, we also got a beanie.
Oh well, next time you have to show us your beanie up at another time. Now I'm trying to find another photo for you, but you know what? It is hiding. So to give you an idea compared to what Alice showed of the photos, here is one of share screen. This is the difference between the winter and the summer photos of Our Chalet. Very different. So this is the newer building, and down in the floor, if you can imagine, they've got the bomb shelter. But can you see that pattern on the roof? That pattern on the roof is to encourage the snow to slide off so it's not building up. And if you look at a lot of the buildings in Adelboden, and as you travel through Switzerland, through the Alps, a lot of them looks like rocks and stuff on it, and that's to encourage the snow to fall off the top, which I actually think is pretty cool. I just cannot imagine being there when Alice was. I think it'd be absolutely amazing to be over there. And again, they have a guide shop, and I don't know about you, Alice, but I really spent at the guide shop. I bought a jacket and a fleecy vest and badges and everything under the, yeah, she's
she's
so
like,
what did you come home with from the guide? Oh, hang on, she's showing off stuff. She's got a hoodie.
One of the hoodies. I also got every single girl in my mum's unit a badge. So it was like 30 badges and a whole bunch of things.
I bought myself and my mum t-shirts because the ones we'd bought from Sangam 2 years ago we'd worn out, and it was that 1 in 10 million WAG shirt they used to have back in the, well, it's going 10 10 years ago now. So yeah, I spent up big as well, and I think it's awesome. Every guide shop you go to, make sure you save some of your spending money, because the profits they make goes back into either the community projects they do or into the running of the centres. So if you go to volunteer at one of these, so if you go to Sangam, as I mentioned when we did India, they have staff, and they do a lot of the tasks that they do things like cleaning the rooms, doing the washing, making the beds and everything like that. When you go to Our Chalet, because the cost of labour is a lot more expensive than what it is at Sangam, they have volunteers. So a lot of people who are doing gap years and stuff from school go over there to volunteer, and the jobs they're doing are things like making the beds and cleaning the rooms. They're in the kitchen helping the chef prepare the meals. They're doing the yard work, the whole bit. So it is a very different experience compared from India to go to the European ones like Our Chalet or Pax Lodge. Our Cabana, they still had some local staff doing a lot of the work, but again, labour over there is a lot cheaper than what it is over here. Sorry, in the European parts of the country. Yes, I agree, Lynn. It does look wonderful in summer, but I would love to see it in snow, because in my guide hall from the age of 7, when I first started going as a brownie, we had this picture of Our Chalet on the wall, and it was always my dream as a child to go and see Our Chalet. It was like, you know, I knew I'd achieved my dream when I got to Our Chalet. I was like, oh my God, I'm here. I remember ringing my grandma, because she's the one that, you know, I followed her journey in guiding, really going, I made it to Our Chalet. And one day I'll have to take over my mum, who's a leader in a younger age guide unit. I'll have to get her over there. She needs a passport first, but, you know, baby steps, we'll get there. Okay, so has everyone got their strudels finished? My milk's ready to go, so I'm just going to put my hot chocolate in the microwave. Sorry, my chocolate in the microwave. And look, Carly's come along to join because he loves milk. He's come to put some milk as well. So Jan is saying 4 is too many marshmallows, made it too sweet. When I have white hot chocolate, I don't put marshmallows in mine, but when I have a milk hot chocolate, it has to have marshmallows. How about yours, Dolphin? Is yours too sweet?
No, mine's good. I do quite like it sweet. We might have to do this at Guides on Tuesday. We're back on Tuesday, and we had our first campfire with marshmallows.
Beautiful. I'm just melting my chocolate. Don't about me.
So I think possibly this might be one of the things that they would very much appreciate.
Who doesn't appreciate chocolate? Obviously, you could always do the fondue as well, but I just find it's something that you do all the time. Where's the fun in that?
I've never done a fondue.
Oh, you're missing out, Dolphin. Cheese is really big in Switzerland. Alice can probably tell you this as well. If you've got a lactose intolerance, luckily I didn't get a lactose intolerance till after Switzerland. Everything is drowning in cheese. Dairy is a very big part of their diet, so that's where the ice cream come in from. But if you like your cheese fondues, there's cheese in your meals, and Alice is probably nodding here. So Alice, can you tell me, did you have the Our Chalet mac and cheese when you were there? Do you want to explain what the mac and cheese is while I check on my hot chocolate?
The mac and cheese was really, really good. I feel like there was almost more cheese than macaroni. It was really good. And probably they served it with broccoli and apple sauce. And I finished the mac and cheese, and then I'm pretty sure me and my friend Ashley spent the rest of dinner time eating the applesauce out of the container because it was really good.
Yes, and according to my friend Ali, who has recently volunteered at Our Chalet, she went from the Northern Territory to Our Chalet in winter, if you can imagine the culture shock for her. She was saying that Our Chalet mac and cheese was the thing over there. But if you ever have a proper rosti from Switzerland, it is literally drowning in cheese. So a rusty, if you can imagine it, is potato, based on potato, and in between is layers and layers of cheese, and they have different flavours. Did you try that as well when you're over there, Alice?
I don't think so.
Oh, you missed out.
I do remember what the dish was. It was called raclette, and you bake melt the cheese underneath, and you cook the vegetables on the top, and then you mix them all together, and it was really good. So.
And is that where they just slice the cheese off and it comes off in big lumps? It's now famous in all the restaurants. So how has everyone got their strudels out of the oven? Is mine the last to come out? Possibly. So this is mine. You probably could do with another few minutes. It's slightly golden. No, I can't even show you this. Woo, where's the camera? So I'm just going to stick mine back in for a few more minutes. But I do have here some very, very sweet hot chocolate milk that I'm going to pour into my mug and drink. And I'm just so glad I had dinner first this week, because I don't think I'd want dinner after this. So my guides went back to face-to-face guiding this week, and they were very excited. And it was really entertaining trying to do horseshoe and maintain physical distancing. In fact, I couldn't even fit them all into one photo and still be in the hall. And we had to try and play games without actually physically touching. So we did minute-to-minute games, which is very entertaining. So we had to give everyone their own cups to do the cup challenge. You know, where you got to stack them into a pyramid and stack them down. That was very entertaining. Okay, so if your strudels are done, chop them up. They recommend serving this with a cream anglaise, which is like a really thin, sweet custard. But you know what? It goes great with cream. It goes great with ice cream. It'll go great with any custard. Excuse my kitten on the shelf behind me. He's being a rat bag tonight. He's on video. And Jan was just saying she did links at the end without holding hands. So it is a very different guiding world we're in right now. But it's kind of exciting as well, if that makes sense. This is history. This is what our guides, we're going to be telling, or our guides are going to tell them, their young guides, when they're our age, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Probably not. Okay, so any last questions for Alice about Switzerland while we've got the pleasure of her? Because she's been a lot more recently than me, so she would probably be able to answer a lot more questions than I can. Any more questions? Anything you want to add, Alice? Okay, so Jan wants to know, do they speak French? I'll let you answer this one. Do you remember any of the language?
In Switzerland, yes. In Adelboden, no, they speak German from memory. So everyone in town was speaking German, and we were speaking English and getting stared at a lot. Yeah.
So I travelled from Germany into Switzerland, so they were speaking. We're trying to speak German in Germany, and then so I just got used to saying Wiedersehen as you left the shop, and then I had to change it when I got to Switzerland, and I still can't remember what I was meant to say when I was in Switzerland, and it's been a while now. Do you remember what you have to say as you leave, Alice?
I'm pretty sure we'd always say Dankeschön.
Yes, that's one of them too. But you will find, if you walk around Our Chalet in Adelboden, just like if you walk around Puna in Sangam, if you're wearing a guide shirt, everyone is so welcoming and wants to know where you're from, and they offer you special discount in their shop, all that type of thing, all because you're wearing a Girl Guide logo. So it doesn't matter if it's the Australian Guide logo or the World badge, anyone that sees that will give you amazing service, and they're just so interested in who you are, where you're from. And what's the weirdest question you got from the people who are non-Australians while you're away, Alice? Did you get any weird questions?
I think one of the weird ones was we said where are you from? We said we're from Australia, and I'm pretty sure we got back in return, where's Australia? and we were sort of just like, yeah, on the bottom.
Did you get asked the question about having kangaroos, riding kangaroos to school?
Many times.
Yeah. And I also got asked if I had a koala living in my tree in the backyard. And I got asked whether we actually had motor vehicles and whether we had supermarkets. So when you went there, you could actually buy food, or whether we basically did the whole bush tucker thing and lived off what we could find in the bush. That too?
Possibly. It was mainly from the ski instructors. We got some odd questions.
I had people in the town ask me all these weird questions. So it is interesting hearing other people's perception of Australia when you go away. And did you feed people Vegemite? That's a good question as well.
Yes, we did.
And what was the reaction to Vegemite?
I don't think they liked it. And we did the Tim Tam Slam with the other volunteers, and they enjoyed that.
The other thing I find, if you ever go to a World Centre, people love is the Natural Confectionery Company lollies. They're also very popular. And so anything to do with koalas and kangaroos, everyone wants them for swaps. Did you take swaps over with you, Alice?
I took some big pile of batches.
Well, everyone, hopefully your strudels are done. Have you taste tested them? That is the question. And what do we give our strudels? Didn't like it, Jan? Too sweet? Shaking her head, I think. How about everyone else?
I haven't tried it yet because I've just had all that hot chocolate.
Too sweet.
I'll have some in a little while. Share it with the family.
Good idea. I said mine's probably going to be breakfast for tomorrow as well as dessert for tonight, because I've made 2. But it is something really simple and easy you can make. And I have known people to make it in the campfire in the coals, but instead of making it a long one, they've used a phyllo pastry and folded it into like a triangle, sprayed it with oil, wrapped in alfoil and baked it in the coals. So if you're looking for a camp cooking idea, the other way you can do it is in using puff pastry in your cast iron sandwich maker. Just really well grease it first. That's the best advice I can give. Otherwise, you'll be scrubbing out puff pastry for the next 10 years with wire brushes trying to get it out. But it's just that easy dessert you can use. And, you know, a tin of pineapple can go a long way. And if you put some chopped chips in it as well, it's awesome. Anything you want to add, Dolphin?
No, I don't think so, except I'm a bit sad I forgot to shop for the ingredients. It looks really yummy.
Yes, well, I can send out the recipe for you. I'll have to send out the adapted version of what we made tonight. So next week we are off to England, to the UK, to do Pax Lodge. Now, would you like to do cooking again? That is the question. Because if you do, we will send around the ingredients, and we may look at doing a recipe I made when I was a guide, and I've got to ask my mum if she can find the recipe for me. They were really yummy. They were cupcakes with currants in. They were joy. We will look at UK. I can talk to you about Pax Lodge, and if anyone else has been to Pax Lodge and want to share their memories as well. I was lucky enough to go over twice. Once when the cherry blossoms were in bloom, and there's some beautiful photos from that, and it's good fun. Some great fun memories from Pax Lodge, like the fire alarm going off at 6 o'clock in the morning when everyone was in the shower and everyone running downstairs in a towel. It was entertaining, particularly for the lady whose towel was one of those little travel towels and only just covered. Luckily, we were all women. So yeah, we'll talk about Pax Lodge next week and go to the UK. So enjoy your apple strudel, everybody. Hopefully you like it. And if you found it too sweet, next time you make it, just cut back the sugar or cut back the chopped chips. If you really want it to have the chocolate, still cut back the sugar. And you can also swap out the chopped chips, because traditionally it's made with sultanas. You can add sultanas instead if you're finding that chocolate's not your thing. Obviously, you can't go to Switzerland and not have chocolate. And we'll go from there. Anything else you can think of, Robin?
No, I think that's it. I know that Alice did go to Pax Lodge on her trip, so perhaps she may have some photos as well.
Yeah, we can share some experience. That sounds. Are you on for that, Alice? Again next week, share. Yep.
Sure.
I think I could dob Alice in. Alice at the Enduro drowned me with, see, she's already laughing. She drowned me with these sponges. They had to go through a hole, so I got drenched. She goes, oh, I won't get you, I won't get you. So I think it's only fair that she does a bit of talking.
Goes around, comes around, Alice. Okay, so here's another Swiss German saying to leave with. I think I'm going to try and pronounce this one. It's Frogs daschk wenn die Ont nicht schuscht, which I think translates, what should translate to, you may ask if you don't mind the answer. So this is, you know, us Australians have weird and wonderful sayings. That is one of the Swiss ones. And I probably really mangled the pronunciation, so I apologise in advance. There's some really interesting Swiss German different sayings, a bit like we have, like chew someone's ear off. They have their own versions of. So thanks everyone for joining us tonight. As I said, next week we'll be off to Pax Lodge. We will do some cooking again, and we will send you the recipes. Robert and I can do another messenger chat after this to finalise our plans. And we look forward to seeing you all again next week. So have a lovely evening. Stay warm. It's freezing down here. And we look forward to seeing you all again next week. Bitterson.